Everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do Atari Force issue number 12 from DC Comics. Yes, we're going to continue the series. I believe it has 20 issues, so we are pretty far in, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I like this kind of genre. I like old school science fiction, and it has a great story, in my opinion. So, without further ado, let's dive in because Chris Champion, the son of Martin Champion, he's been captured by Hunter at the Atari station, right? And he's going, there's a trial because they think he's a traitor, right? Because of what happened all in the last issue. I'm not going over that all the whole time, so check out my videos if you want to know more and why he's captured here. I give you a little bit small recap, right? And then we have Lucia, who's a doctor. He's a friend of the family, and Lucas here too because he worked with Martin Champion because he was on the original Atari Force, and he's blaming himself that he basically let Hunter capture Martin, and he was responsible for that, right? But also that this woman that she knows, she's a fair judge, while the others are just, I don't know, they have a hatred for the Champion family, right? But she says, "Hey Christopher, why are you here? And why do you know why you're here and why you have been brought here?" But then he's going on a rampage or a tantrum because he's sick of it at all, right? He says, "My dad stole Scanner 1 for a purpose, to nail the Dark Destroyer, and his reasons were more than personal. I think he's trying to save all our hides, but you're not ready to buy that, so I'm getting out of here." So he's kicking and his guards, right? He says, "I had enough. Getting whipped and beaten by Atari's trained bulldogs, then drugged and dumped into the stinking prison cell. I'm not gonna let that happen again." But then Hunter comes in and he clobbers him, right? Poor guy. So he says he's probably more cooperative now, but the judge says, "Well, he's unconscious, so we need to adjourn the meeting." And then she says, "Wait, he said something about the Dark Destroyer. What do you know about him?" So Hunter says, probably doesn't even exist. You see, that's his father delusions, and the kids bought into it, lock, stock, and barrel. But then Lucia is, not screaming, yelling at Hunter. You see, "Are you sure? Destroyed lived once, but Martin Champion Atari Force fought to destroy him a decade ago. He was incredibly powerful then. What's to say he couldn't survive that, right?" He said, "You need to get Martin Champion because he's the key." But speaking of Martin Champion, and so we go to Scanner 1 in the multiverse, and Martin is really angry at Blackjack, because he betrayed the crew, and he's also the lover of Dart here, was. And, he says, "Do whatever you want with me. I set basically he's scrambled the computers, and now they are setting to the location of the Dark Destroyer. They can do not anything about it, right?" He says, "I should kill you. You're nothing but a stinking traitor, a cowardly." He says, "You don't know what I've been through. And in my position, you would probably do the same." So Dart comes in. He wants to talk with Blackjack. And Erin, that's her real name, still seems to be in a state of shock. Can't blame her either. Though to have her lover return from the dead only to discover his mind was controlled by... Lord, he actually shot her in cold blood. But then Morphia comes here, and she wants to have a talk with him because he's really stressed, and she is some kind of an empath, right? Also, what I like about old school science fiction, by the way, is the way aesthetic look, like this very comfy chair, this luscious green, right? There's a lot of, I don't know, this a different kind of setting when it comes to 70s, 80s science fiction, which I'm a personal favorite of. I'm not a big fan of that cold, sterile spaceships with nothing on it but computers. I like computers, don't get me wrong. I like backgrounds, but, this having a very nice aesthetic, in my opinion. It's pleasing to the eye. Anyway, so he says, "I have something to tell you," says Morphia. "Christopher is no longer on board the ship. He has returned to New Earth, and this one is worried for his safety." "Chris, gone? And you let him go? Why did he leave?" he says. And he says, "Some time ago, before Blackjack's arrival, but you were so wrapped up in your own business, you hardly seemed to notice." And she wants to calm him because his pain is great. He says, "Back off, Morphia. You already done enough damage. You let my own son, walk out on me, just when I need him the most." So they're having an argument here, right? But then Packrat comes here and he says, "Hey, You should see this. Meanwhile, she says, what could be so horrible that you're willing to kill me? And he's starting to cry. He says, I've been so hurt, I disobeyed him. And then he spills the beans like that he was always the weakest from the two, right? You are always the lead. I was just along for the ride. All those time we fought side by side. The thing, maybe you gave me, I think you maybe gave me strength, or maybe looked like I was strong. I never was. You saw me what you wanted to see, and I took from you the things I needed to be a man. With you, I managed to play the part. Without you, I couldn't even act strong. The Destroyer sensed that, and I was his. I made an offer to Martin before. It applies to you. You can kill me now if you want. Maybe it's better that you do, because I know that if the Destroyer told me to, I'd try to kill you again. Oh, no. And then we go to, they arrived at their destination because here's the ship of the Dark Destroyer, and they realize that they are near the border of New Earth, right? So basically they're almost home. And Martin doesn't know why the Dark Destroyer is here near their home, right? So they're getting, there's a tractor beam from this moon or planet, and it pulls them in, right? And he says he's undoubtedly bringing us down to the surface for what he hopes to be our final confrontation. I just wish there was some kind of a monkey wrench we could toss into his plans. Any suggestions, Darts? Yes, but we have to move quickly. I like that, a counter plan. No. But then we see, let me look at this aesthetic, right? Like I said, this old school aesthetic. Every creature looks different. Other armor, other headsets or headgear and boots and weaponry and whatever this is, this machinery. And look at this super cool sniper, right? That, you can, it looks so cool. Damn, I miss this old school aesthetics. Anyway, I stop rambling about that. So the Dark Destroyer says, hey, bring them to me. But the scanner one is empty. So, and then this guy comes in and says, hey, we, a lifeboat heading for point zero? Damn him, he suspects. What are you waiting for? Find him. So Dart is not really pleased with Martin. He says, I would have swept around for a surprise rear attack, but you flying away from them two altogether. Yeah, call it curiosity, Dart. But the intense radiation patterns my monitors picked up nearby can be ignored. Packrat says, don't try anything, punk, I blew you to Kingdom Come. Anyway, so they turn around the corner and they see something. And this structure, this thing. So Martin is scanning it, and it's an antimatter bomb. Powerful enough to destroy a universe. And it will, Martin Champion, says the Dark Destroyer that caught up to him. You built this device. You built this device. You know the unlimited destructive power it contains. Are you totally insane? No, Martin. A triple vengeful, perhaps. Not insane. So, but the Darts has enough. He says, I'm going to kick his ass. So there's a fight, but Martin says, no, don't do it because they are outnumbered, right? But they do it anyway. Ads. So there's a small fight, and Dart wants to attack the Destroyer. He says, Dart, you're a fool. And he slaps her away. I like this, this sound effect with the swing here, with the curve. It's really nicely well done. And as are you, insect, Blackjack, take her out. So he's still in his thrall. And Pagrat is attacking Kark, I believe that's his name, but, he can nothing do about it. And then Martin says, I surrender. A wise decision, dear Martin. After all, I wouldn't want you to die without learning some of the more salient aspects of my career. I already spoke more than you think, Destroyer, but there's one thing I don't know. What or who the hell are you? I'm glad you asked. Prepare yourself for a shock, Martin. I am all the things you love. I am all the things you hate. I am your death, Martin Champion. I am you. Oh man, what a reveal. Damn, who, what, why? And everybody looks in shock, even them, right? And that leads us to the next issue. This is fantastic. I love it. So also we have a small mini, how do you say, story with Hukka, you know, the creature that lives on scanner 1. And it's more like the circle of life. So he's hunting this creature, right? And it's supposed to be funny, and it is, and it looks funny, but it also has some, you know, real life lessons, because no matter how big you are, there is always something bigger that hunts you. And he releases or this creature, but then this creature attacking this one, and then you know the circle of life continues. And that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. We're gonna continue this awesome looking series, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.